What's up, guys? I wasn't gonna make this video, but whatever, man. There's a million things that I put off, and I'm like, all right, like probably make a video, probably talk about that, it'll probably benefit other dudes, and then I don't do it. So here I am in the car, making a video for as much for you guys as for myself. All right, check this out. So first, I just ask you to like, comment, subscribe, because I guess that's how this whole algorithm works, and share stuff. So if you have something you find in here that you just like it, subscribe, whatever. You know the drill. Just do it now, because otherwise you forget, and then you watch half this video, and then you start scrolling because your mind's made out of Play-Doh. So is mine. So I get it. All right, so check this out. So I'm about to go into the gym, bang out a workout. It's early in the morning, and motivation for you guys, motivation for me. I'm dragging myself, man. I'm dragging myself there. Like that's just the truth of life. So here's the first time you're ever gonna hear this, and probably the last time, is this sentence, putting these two things together: David Goggins and Gilgamesh. What the hell does David Goggins and Gilgamesh have to do? All right, so check this out, guys. If you haven't read it, or if your mind's too Play-Doh to read it, you could just do the audiobook of Gilgamesh. It's awesome. And here's what I'll say about David Goggins and Gilgamesh. First, like, you got to find your counterweight, right? And that counterweight is probably going to come from within yourself. So I got a counterweight in myself. It says, yo, Rich, get to the gym. Don't do this. Don't be idle. Get going. Make that next call. Send out that email. Go do that next set. And I've talked about this before, like when I'm going to like set out to do like 7 reps and it's a heavier weight, I'm going to do double zeros. I'm going to mess with my mind to go do it. So you got to find your counterweight. Like David Goggins found his, I found mine, and that is going to come from probably within. So check this out. So Gilgamesh. So I'm just going to give you a quick, brief Gilgamesh kind of reference, and why you guys need to first to read this audiobook. You know what I'm saying? Read the book, listen to the audiobook. And the cool thing is it's so accessible. That's the time we live in, that you can go on your morning drive to work or whatever you're doing, or your lunch break. You could pop in those earphones and listen to an audiobook of Gilgamesh. So Gilgamesh was written, like, this is like way back, like this is like ancient Iraq, okay? Before Homer was writing, there was the tablets of Gilgamesh and the epic of Gilgamesh. So real quick, Gilgamesh is kind of a tyrant king of this place called Uruk. That's like right in modern day Iraq. And Gilgamesh is an idle king. And he takes what's not his, and he says, hey, we're going to do a project. We're going to go build these walls up. And then he abandons the project. And just kind of an ass, right? And that's the thing. He's a great king. He's half divine, whatever, or one whatever, 2/3 divine, something like that in the book. But the point is that he's idle. He's very idle, and his people are suffering because of his being idle. So they cry out to heaven, and whatever the ancient gods, they send a wild man. Oh, they send a wild man. Now, here's what happens next. The hunter's in the forest, and he sees a crazy, wild beast of a man, long hair, covered in hair, and that's Enkidu. So Enkidu gets kind of acquainted with civilization. He drinks beer, he has bread, sleep. He ends up sleeping with a woman, and when he's done, he's done. And anyway, finally, Enkidu ends up at the city. And he finds out that Gilgamesh is sleeping with all the virgins before their, on their wedding night. And he's like, his face is horrified. Now, he's a big beastly man, and the king, Gilgamesh, is a big beastly man, and Enkidu blocks the doorway from Gilgamesh going in, and taking what his old king right is sleeping with all the virgins before they are to be on their wedding night, right? He goes in first, and then, the new husband goes in. So they're in the marketplace. He's blocking the doorway. They butt heads, and the book is very descriptive. They butt heads like oxes. They're like wrestling, and these two men are contending with themselves. So now Gilgamesh has found his equal. He's found somebody he could butt heads with. And you have to go find somebody you could butt heads with. And that's going to be real hard in life. But you need to start find your Enkidu, man. Like maybe your Enkidu comes from within. So find your Enkidu. But here's why you need to find your Enkidu. Because when these guys are going out doing stuff and making war and killing this wicked monster that lives in the forest called Umbaba. It's not really a wicked monster, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, they go out on this mission, and it's these two guys that are interpreting dreams to each other and calming each other down during serious situations, pushing each other to go to the next level and, and go kill this monster and not be afraid. These guys are kind of like oxes, like pushing themselves, like butting heads, but to get to a greater good. So here's what I'll say is find your Enkidu. Maybe that Enkidu comes from inside to get rid of your idleness, to get you on mission, to get you to go kill that monster. So when you're heading to the gym or whatever you got to do, you got to get up, get going. You're going to read that book. You're going to do that thing. Start doing a little bit of self-shame. Get yourself geared up and teed up, and find your Enkidu, man. Find your Enkidu. I know that sounds crazy. Guys, go listen to the audiobook, go read the book, but find your Enkidu. And my arm's getting tired from holding this thing. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Subscribe, like, share, find your Enkidu. Start forcing yourself to go do these things, because that's the only way they're going to get done. Guilt yourself into doing these things. Rile yourself up into doing these things. Start finding that counterweight. You know how I don't know if you guys have read that David Goggins book. Like, I listened to the audiobook like a couple of years ago. And the guy talks about, he's got his like alter ego. Like, you got to have that alter ego for yourself. You got to have you're the Gilgamesh. You got to have your Enkidu. You guys got to have something inside you. Like, maybe it's going to be an outside person, but probably not. It's going to come from within. So find your counterweight and get to the gym, make those sales calls, do that work, and that's it. Subscribe, like, share, out.